What do I do next? What's next on my plate? I'm already getting emails galore. The vision for Taxifi is to grow within 5 years to $100 million. I need these big items to happen before the launch of March 2nd, 2026. Build a story of trust and vulnerability, however vulnerability looks to you. People buy outcomes, not apps. If my app doesn't do an outcome, they won't buy it. What problem am I really solving? Guess what? Week 3 of Taxifi. This has already been a journey, and I'm excited to share what happened this last week and what's going to happen this week moving forward. So just to recap, we have an early access, websites being built, users are joining the wait list, and there's a lot going on from a development perspective as well as a marketing perspective. And prior to even launching the early access, a lot of what was going through my mind, like, what do I do next? What's next on my plate? And being able to manage all these things is something a lot of entrepreneurs go through on a daily basis. What I do to set myself up for success is I incorporated an EOS system. And what that is torches every quarter. So I pick 4 to 6 big items to tackle every quarter that I make myself accountable to. Things that come up during that quarter, I put on as the bench and I handle it next quarter so that I stay focused on the tasks in hand. I'll give you an example. This quarter, so end of December 31st, quarter 4 for 2025, one of my torches was create a website. Today is December 19th, and I am meeting with my marketing team, and we're gonna be publishing the website next week. So I set this up 2 months ago, built a relationship with my marketing individual, back and forth. So before December 31st, 2025, that website is launched. That's one of my torches. Another torch is early access. Another torch is setting up a corporate structure. Like, you have to take 4 or 5 big items so that you can work on the business rather than in the business. I'm already getting emails galore. I need this to be done. I need this to be done. I need this to be done. And what I've realized growing a business, that if you just focused everything in the business, you will not be able to hit those torches or those big items, and you'll get overwhelmed and you'll never push the business along. So now for quarter 1, 2026, I'm setting up 4 to 6 big items that I have to achieve in quarter 1, 2026. So I have 3 months to achieve it. And based on what was on my bench is going to be items that I have to achieve in 2026. For anyone that hasn't read the EOS book, it goes through setting up a vision and then going from your vision to yearly manageable goals to quarterly deliverables to weekly tactical meetings. So every week leads to quarterly goals, which lead to yearly goals, which lead to your vision. And once you nail down your vision, the vision for Taxifi is to grow within 5 years to $100 million in value of the business. So now I have a vision and I work backwards from there. I need a website. I need development to happen. I need these big items to happen before the launch of March 2nd, 2026 of the date. So these are all the things that I'm managing on a day-to-day basis, but having a structure in place to keep me accountable is like having a coach on my side. I know that I have to be accountable to these torches, and guess what? I did 6 torches for this quarter, and I executed on all 6. And anything that came up during that quarter, I put to the bench, and now quarter 1 for 2026, I know which items I need to hit, put 4 to 6 items on my plate, and then I execute them. The bigger your team, the more torches you can do. I know I can only do 4 to 6 because I have other stuff going around. But let's say I have a team of 5. Well, now I have 4 to 6. My COO has 4 to 6. My CFO has 4 to 6. Everyone has 4 to 6 or whatever they can take on as per their role to grow their business. And that's how you should set up every business. Even if you're wanting to hit $100 million or wanting to hit $1 million or wanting to hit $200,000. Setting up the right structure is very important. Another thing that I learned was in the last 2 weeks, I nailed down my marketing, and I was consciously making a decision to go after one vertical rather than many verticals. And it's speaking to creators. I'm getting DMs all the time saying, this is exactly what I've been waiting for. You're speaking to me. You understand me. Your story and my story align. My story aligns with a creator. If a tradesperson, a plumber, saw my content, they might not be interested because I'm not relating to them. I do think the generalists right now don't go anywhere. You have to be very specific and go down a vertical. So creators, I'm understanding every single thing about them, and every content is geared towards creators or solopreneurs. And a lot of solopreneurs would only understand the content that I'm creating because it's geared towards creators, and a lot of solopreneurs are creators as well. So you have to really hit that vertical. So niche clarity beats to serve everyone. That was one of the big headlines I posted on social media. Niche out your vertical. Second is people buy outcomes, not apps. If my app doesn't have an outcome to do their taxes for them, they're not going to buy it. Even if my content's great, even if they trust me, even if they do all those things, if my app doesn't do an outcome, they won't buy it. If your service doesn't perform an outcome, they won't buy it. If your app doesn't do an outcome, they won't buy it. If they have to do too many things, they're not going to use it. Why am I not going after corporations and starting with sole proprietorships? Because sole proprietorships, I know I can automate at least 95% of the process. In corporations are a lot harder. That's why I'm automating 95% of sole proprietorships for creators. So I'm diving deep into what a sole proprietor is and who it's for. And that's what you got to do for your business. If you're a plumber or an electrician, are you going to go after commercial contracts, multi-res, residential? What are you going to go after? They're all 3 different mindsets, 3 different customers, 3 different outcomes. Choose a niche and be the best in that niche. If you're a creator, are you a UGC creator? Are you building product? What's your niche? I just partnered with Jessica Neach. Her niche is food. Everyone knows her about food. Now she's branching off a little to other stuff, but her main focus is food. So if a new restaurant opened up, guess who's the first person for them to call to start marketing that restaurant? Her, because she differentiated herself and she went down and deep into the food industry. And that's what you got to do too. If you start out and want to do too many things, it won't work. Third is building in public forces better decisions. It makes you accountable. A lot of people have been building in public for the last few years. And I was debating if I should or shouldn't. And the marketing that I'm doing for Taxifi is going to be founder-led marketing. But what I can tell you, it makes you accountable. I know I have to post every day. I know I have to hit these torches because it drives content to it. And when you're creating and documenting, there's your content. So it actually forces you to build more content because you're creating. It forces me to build this video because I have to create. If I create, I build the podcast, I build a story, I build connection. So building in public, document your journey and create the content based on that. You'll never be out of content. You can't automate clarity. What problem am I really solving? Can't automate that. You have to just don't use ChatGPT, don't use that. You have to think about what problem you're solving and really honing in on the customer and solving that problem for them. You can't automate it. You can't use all these platforms out there to really understand your problem. Before I even started this, I didn't go on ChatGPT for any of it. I went in, I had a creative session, and I went exactly what I was trying to achieve, and I worked backwards from there. I had to think about the problem. I had to figure out. I could have wrote it in ChatGPT and it could have gave me a perfect answer, but it's not the right answer. You have to do that clarity for yourself. Emotions are data too. That was the fifth one. The nerves, the doubt, the excitement, you have to share that. I'm not a robot. I have nerves. I have excitement. I have all these things. That's what makes me who I am. A lot of the nerves, maybe other people don't have. A lot of the excitement, maybe I have and people don't have. Like, there's a lot of things that are individualized, and with AI coming on board, that's the way you separate yourself. Because you got to think about two competitors now. Your competition, who's servicing your clients, as well, AI. AI is going to do it better than both your competitors and you. But they can't hit the emotion and the story of you. Build a story of trust and vulnerability, however vulnerability looks to you. I talk to a lot of creators, and creators, in my mind, their vulnerability is very high. Mine is very low. However, whatever you feel comfortable with, that's your vulnerability. That's your trust. That's building content online and speaking to a camera and being okay with speaking with a camera and really understanding it. All in all, the last 2 weeks have been awesome. Week 3 is really, we're gearing up towards Christmas time and the holiday season. So now my mindset is, okay, how do I manage my content without being an overload of content and really hitting the spot where people are not thinking about business anymore? They're turning it off. Hammering content of business might not be the solution. Hammering content for myself and my storyline personally is the angle that I'm going after. So needless to say, that's a lot for the last 2 weeks and the content out there. If you're a business owner out there, those 5 steps really can help, nullify or nail down your clients and really think about a year plan, your vision, niching out, building an outcome. These are all very important topics that you as a business owner need to nail down, and that I'm nailing down as I'm building this new venture. Stay tuned for more. I appreciate you, and keep on watching for more updates on Taxifi.